The first time I saw my sister dying, I almost let her. Not because I didn't care, but because 5 years earlier, she had erased me like I never existed. And for one dangerous second, standing under those harsh white hospital lights, I wondered what it would feel like to do the same. But I didn't. And that's the part that still keeps me up at night. Because what happened next was something none of us could ever undo. But to understand that moment, you need to know what she did first. Because this didn't start in a hospital. It started with a lie. A single lie. That cost me my entire family. My name is Dr. Elena Ward. I'm 34 years old. And 5 years ago, my sister destroyed my life with words that weren't even real. And the worst part? My parents didn't even hesitate. They believed her instantly. No questions. No doubt. No second chances. Just silence. And I disappeared. But the truth is, I had been disappearing my whole life. I just didn't realize it yet. Because in our house, there were 2 daughters. But only one that mattered. Vanessa. My older sister. Confident. Loud. Magnetic. The kind of person who didn't just enter a room. She owned it. Teachers loved her. Neighbors admired her. My parents? They built their entire world around her. And me? I was the quiet one. The one sitting at the edge of every moment. Watching. Waiting. Hoping. But never quite seen. And I told myself that was okay. That not everyone needed attention. That being invisible didn't mean being unloved. But that was the first lie I ever believed. Because invisibility isn't neutral. It slowly eats you alive. And I didn't notice. Until it was too late. I remember one moment so clearly. It still stings. 8th grade. State science fair. Months of work. Late nights. No help. Just me, trying to prove I mattered. I qualified. The only student from my school. The same weekend, Vanessa had a theater performance. You already know where my parents went. Not to me. I came home with 2nd place. A silver ribbon clutched in my hand like it meant something. I walked into the kitchen. Heart racing. Hope rising. My dad glanced at it. "That's nice," he said. That was it. No questions. No pride. Nothing. And something inside me went quiet. But I didn't break. Not yet. Instead, I adapted. If I couldn't be loved, I'd be undeniable. So I worked. Harder than anyone. Grades. Scholarships. Applications. Every ounce of me poured into one goal. Becoming someone they couldn't ignore. And for a moment, it actually worked. Because the day I got into medical school, everything changed. The envelope arrived on a Tuesday. Thick. Official. Life-changing. My dad read it slowly. Then he looked at me. really looked at me and said something I had waited my entire life to hear. Maybe you'll actually become something. It wasn't warm, but it was enough. For me, it was everything. But across the table, Vanessa was smiling. And I didn't realize. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the kind of smile people wear when they're losing something and planning how to take it back. I should have noticed. I didn't. Because suddenly, she became interested in me. Calls, questions, details, everything about my life. And I thought, finally, I had a sister. I had no idea. I was handing her the blueprint to destroy me. By my 3rd year of med school, my life was exactly where I wanted it to be. Until it wasn't. Her name was Lily Carter. My best friend. My anchor. The one person who chose me when my own family never did. And then she got sick. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Fast. Brutal. Unforgiving. And just like that, nothing else mattered. Not grades. Not school. Not my future. Just her. So I made a decision. The kind that defines who you are. I took a leave of absence. Official. Approved. Temporary. I was going back. But first, I was staying. With her. Through chemo. Through pain. Through nights that felt endless. And in the middle of all that, I made one mistake. One phone call. That would destroy everything. I called Vanessa. I told her everything. Every detail. Every plan. Every fear. And she responded perfectly. Soft. Supportive. Caring. Don't worry, she said. I won't tell Mom and Dad. And I believed her. 3 days later, my phone rang. 11:07 p.m. My dad. His voice was ice. Your sister told us everything. My stomach dropped. What are you talking about? And then, he said it. The truth. You dropped out. The drugs. The lies. My entire world stopped. Because none of it was real. Dad, that's not true. Enough. Silence. Cold. Final. Don't call this house again until you're ready to tell the truth. The line went dead. Just like that. 4 minutes. That's all it took. 4 minutes. To lose my entire family. I sat there on that hospital floor, staring at my phone. Not breathing. Not thinking. Just gone. 20 minutes later. A text from Vanessa. I'm sorry. I had to tell them. No. She didn't. She chose to. And in that moment, something inside me finally understood. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't misunderstanding. This was intentional. Calculated. Precise. And terrifying. Because I didn't just lose my parents that night. I realized something worse. I had never really had them. And that was the part that broke me. But I didn't know yet how far she had gone. Because what my sister had started wasn't just a lie. It was a war. And I had just become the target. But I still thought I could fix it. I thought if I explained, if I proved the truth, they would come back. I had no idea. They had already chosen her. And what I did next would be the most desperate mistake of my life. I called them 14 times. And every single call made things worse. At first, I thought it was just anger, shock, confusion. I told myself, give them a day, they'll calm down. But I had no idea. They weren't confused. They were convinced. And that changes everything. The first 3 calls went to voicemail. That was normal. That was fixable. I left calm messages. Dad, please call me back. There's been a misunderstanding. I can prove everything. I just need you to listen. But even as I said those words, something in my chest felt off. Like I already knew. They weren't going to listen. And I wish I had stopped right there. Because the 4th call didn't ring at all. It went straight to silence. Blocked. I pulled the phone away from my ear slowly. Stared at the screen. Tried again. Same thing. That's when the panic started creeping in. Cold. Heavy. Real. No, 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 no. I whispered it out loud like saying it would change something. It didn't. So I called my mom. 1 ring. 2 rings. Hope came back for half a second. Then, voicemail. I exhaled. Relief. She hasn't blocked me yet. But I had no idea. I was just watching the clock run out. Because 2 days later, her number went silent too. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't temporary. This wasn't anger. This was removal. They were cutting me out. Completely. And I still didn't understand why. So I did what desperate people do. I tried to prove the truth. I sent emails. 2 of them. The first one was short. Clear. Logical. I'm on an approved leave of absence. Here's the documentation. I attached everything. Official papers. Dean's contact. Hospital records. Facts. Because facts fix things, right? Wrong. No response. Not even a "we received this." Nothing. So I wrote a second email. Longer. More emotional. Explaining everything. Lily. Her illness. Why I stayed. Why I chose her. And as I wrote it, my hands were shaking. Because for the first time, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just explaining the situation. I was begging to be believed. And that should have been my first warning. Because you shouldn't have to beg your own family to believe you. I hit send. And waited. Minutes turned into hours. Hours turned into a full day. Still nothing. That silence? It was louder than anything they could have said. But I wasn't done. Not yet. Because I still believed. If I just reached them the right way, they'd come back. So I wrote a letter. Handwritten. Careful. Honest. Every word chosen like it mattered. Because it did. I mailed it priority. Watched the tracking. Saw it get delivered. And for a moment, hope came back. They'll read it, I told myself. They have to. 5 days later, it came back. Unopened. Returned to sender. And I recognized the handwriting on the envelope. My mother's. That was the moment something inside me cracked. Not shattered. Not yet. Just cracked. Because rejection is one thing. But being refused without even being heard? That does something different to you. Something deeper. Something permanent. But I still wasn't ready to give up. Not completely. So I made one last move. One last attempt to fix everything. I called my aunt. The only person in my family who had ever treated me like I mattered. Aunt Carol. My voice broke the second she answered. I need your help. And for a moment, it felt like maybe, just maybe, I wasn't alone. She listened. Didn't interrupt. Didn't question me. And when I finished, there was a long pause. Then she said something I'll never forget. I believe you. Just 4 words. But after days of being ignored, it felt like oxygen. Like I could finally breathe again. I'll talk to your father, she said. I'll fix this. And for the first time in days, I felt hope. Real hope. The kind that makes you believe everything might still be okay. But I should have known better. Because hope can be dangerous. Especially when it's built on people who have already chosen not to see you. She called him that same night. I know because she called me back 40 minutes later. And the tone in her voice told me everything before she even spoke. I'm sorry, she said softly. My stomach dropped. What happened? Silence. Then, he told me to stay out of it. I closed my eyes. But she wasn't done. He said, you made your choice. That was it. That was the moment. Not when they blocked me. Not when they ignored my emails. Not even when they sent my letter back. This was the moment I finally understood. They weren't confused. They weren't manipulated. They weren't victims. They chose this. They chose her version of me over the real one standing right in front of them. And once you understand that, something changes. Something irreversible. Because it means you were never the priority. Not once. Not ever. And suddenly, all the past moments made sense. Every ignored achievement. every missed event. Every time her voice mattered more than mine. This wasn't new. This was just the loudest version of a pattern that had always existed. And that realization? That's what finally broke me. 5 days. 14 calls. 2 emails. 1 letter. 1 last attempt through someone else. All of it. Rejected. Ignored. Denied. And on the 6th day, I stopped. Not because I gave up, but because I finally understood. I had been fighting for something that was never really mine. And right when I thought things couldn't get worse, they did. Because the one person I still had, the one reason I had stayed strong through all of this, was slipping away. Lily. Her condition got worse. Fast. Aggressive. Unforgiving. And I was there for all of it. Every hospital visit. Every painful breath. Every moment where she tried to stay strong. Even when her body was giving up. And one night, at 3:12 a.m., she looked at me and whispered, "Don't stop your life because of me." I shook my head, tears already falling. "You are my life right now." She smiled. Weak. But real. "No, you're meant for more than this." I wish I had argued. I wish I had said something stronger. But I didn't. Because deep down, I knew she was right. And that scared me. Because without her, I had nothing left. No family. No support. No safety net. Just me. And I didn't know if that was enough. A few weeks later, she died. Quietly. No drama. No warning. Just gone. And I was the only one there. No family. No friends. Just me. Holding her hand as the monitor went flat. And in that moment, everything inside me went silent. Not numb. Not empty. Just still. Because when you lose the last person who chose you, something inside you stops expecting anything from the world. I organized her funeral. 6 people showed up. 6. In a room meant for 60. I stood at the front, reading her eulogy, looking at empty seats, and realizing something I wasn't ready to face. This is what alone looks like. And for the first time, I didn't cry. Because there was nothing left to cry with. That night, I sat alone in her apartment. The silence was unbearable. Her coffee mug still on the counter. Her jacket still hanging by the door. Like she might walk back in any second. But she didn't. And she never would. That's when I found it. A note. Tucked inside one of her books. Her handwriting. Shaky. But clear. Finish what you started. I stared at those words for a long time. Because in that moment, I had a choice. Break completely. Or rebuild from nothing. And I had no idea which one I was going to choose. But what I decided next would change everything. and not in a way anyone saw coming. The moment I saw her name on the screen, my hand stopped moving. And that almost never happens. Because in my world, hesitation gets people killed. But this wasn't just any patient. And I wish I could say I reacted like a machine. But I didn't. Because the name glowing back at me wasn't just a name. It was a ghost I buried 5 years ago. And somehow, it just walked back into my operating room. "Dr. Hayes?" Linda's voice snapped me back. I blinked once. Twice. Forced air into my lungs. "I'm fine," I said. But I wasn't. Not even close. Because in 8 minutes, the woman who destroyed my life would be wheeled through those doors. Bleeding, broken, and depending on me to save her. And I had no idea what I was going to do. The sirens got louder. Closer. Sharp. Violent. Like they were cutting through time itself. And with every passing second, something inside my chest tightened. Because this wasn't just a case anymore. This was a collision. Past and present. Truth and lies. And I was standing right in the middle of it. "ETA 2 minutes," someone shouted. The trauma bay snapped into motion. Gloves. Masks. Prep trays. Controlled chaos. The kind I thrive in. But not tonight. Because tonight, my past was bleeding out in the back of an ambulance. And then, the doors burst open. The stretcher rolled in fast. Too fast. Paramedics shouting vitals. BP dropping, 80 systolic. Possible internal bleed. Unresponsive. And then I saw her. Ava. Her face pale. Lips slightly blue. Hair matted with blood. And for a split second, she didn't look like the girl who ruined my life. She just looked human. Fragile. Small. But then the memory hit. Hard. Like a punch to the ribs. That text message. I had to tell them. That lie. That smile. That destruction. "Dr. Hayes." Linda again. She's crashing. And just like that, the decision was made for me. Not by emotion. Not by history. But by the one rule I swore to never break. Patients come first. Always. Prep for war. "Now," I snapped. Voice steady. Cold. Professional. Exactly how it needed to be. Even if everything inside me was anything but. We moved fast. Because time was bleeding out of her body. And I wasn't about to let her die on my table. Not like this. Not without answers. But I had no idea. Saving her would destroy everything all over again. The operating room lights were blinding. White. Sharp. Unforgiving. Just like the truth that was about to surface. Scalpel. My voice didn't shake. My hands didn't tremble. Because when I operate, I disappear. No past. No pain. Just precision. But even then, There were moments. Tiny cracks. Like when I saw the scar on her wrist. One I didn't recognize. One that wasn't there before. Or the way her body reacted under anesthesia. Fragile. Weaker than it should have been. Something wasn't right. And I felt it immediately. Suction. Clamp. Pressure dropping again. Blood pooled faster than expected. Too fast. Way too fast. She's losing more than we thought, Patel said quietly. No. Not just that. This wasn't just trauma from the accident. This was something deeper. Something hidden. And I didn't realize it yet. But this discovery? It was about to blow the entire story wide open. Check liver. Laceration, grade 3. There it was. Severe. But manageable. Except. It wasn't the only thing. Wait, I muttered. There was something else. Something off. Her spleen's gone, I said. Patel froze. What? Previous surgery. It's not here. The room went silent for half a second. Because that didn't make sense. No medical record mentioned it. No history. Nothing. And suddenly, a question formed in my mind. One I couldn't ignore. What else has she been hiding? But there was no time. Not now. Focus, I snapped. Let's finish this. 3 hours. 42 minutes. That's how long it took. And when it was over, she was alive. Barely. But alive. I stepped back. Pulled off my gloves. And for the first time since this started, I let myself breathe. You saved her, Patel said. I didn't respond. Because it didn't feel like a victory. It felt like the beginning of something worse. And I was right. Family's waiting, Linda said softly. Of course they were. And that's when reality hit me. Harder than anything else so far. They were out there. My parents. 5 years of silence. 5 years of believing I didn't exist. And now, I was about to walk in there. Not as their daughter, but as the doctor who saved the only child they thought they had. I wasn't ready. But I walked anyway. Because some moments, you don't get to prepare for them. You just survive them. The waiting room felt colder than the OR. Quieter. But heavier. And there they were. My mother. My father. Older. Smaller. Different. But still. The same people who chose to believe a lie over their own daughter. Dad stood up first. Doctor, how is she? I stepped forward. Every step measured. Controlled. And then, his eyes dropped to my badge. And everything changed. I watched it happen in real time. Recognition. Confusion. Shock. And then, fear. He stuttered. My mom's hand gripped his arm so tightly. I saw his sleeve wrinkle. Irene, she whispered. 5 years. And that's all it took. One word. But I didn't move toward her. I didn't hug her. I didn't even smile. Because this wasn't that moment. Not yet. Your daughter is stable, I said calmly. She's going to live. Silence. Heavy. Unforgiving. You're a doctor, my father said. I held his gaze. I always was. And just like that, the lie started to crack. But I wasn't done. Not even close. Because what they didn't know yet, what none of them knew, was that the truth? It wasn't just coming. It was about to explode. And when it did, no one in that room would walk away the same. My father's lips parted, but no words came out. And for the first time in my life, he looked small. Not angry. Not in control. Just lost. Irene, we thought. He stopped. Because even he didn't know what they thought anymore. And I could see it happening. Right in front of me. 5 years of certainty. Cracking. But I didn't help him. I didn't fill the silence. Because this time, they were going to sit in it. You thought I dropped out, I said quietly. You thought I lied. That I disappeared. I tilted my head slightly. Right? My mom started crying instantly. Not softly. Not controlled. The kind of crying that comes from somewhere deep. Somewhere ugly. That's what she told us, she whispered. There it was. She. The same she who was lying in the ICU right now. Alive. Because of me. And I wish I could say I felt powerful in that moment. I didn't. I felt tired. Did you ever call me? I asked. Silence. Did you ever ask me what was true? My dad swallowed hard. His jaw tightened. I trusted your sister. That hit harder than I expected. Not because it surprised me, but because it confirmed something I'd always known. And never wanted to admit. He didn't choose the truth. He chose the easier story. I called you 14 times, I said. My voice didn't rise. Didn't break. I sent emails. Documents. Proof. I paused. You sent my letter back. Unopened. My mom covered her mouth. Like the memory just hit her. Like it finally became real. I thought, she stuttered. You thought I was lying, I finished. And just like that, there was nowhere left for them to hide. Behind me, I heard movement. Nurses. Staff. Watching. Because this wasn't just a reunion. This was a reckoning. My father rubbed his face slowly. Like he was trying to wake up from something. This isn't the place for this. I almost laughed. Almost. You're right, I said. This isn't the place. I glanced toward the ICU. This is the place where I saved your daughter's life. That landed hard. Because for the first time, he had to face it. The daughter he believed. was alive because of the daughter he erased. And that kind of truth? It doesn't sit quietly. It burns. My mom stepped toward me again. Slower this time. Careful. Like I might disappear if she moved too fast. Irene, please. I took a step back. Just one. But it said everything. Not yet. Her hands dropped. And I saw it. The realization that this wasn't going to be fixed with one apology. This wasn't a moment. This was 5 years. I need to check on my patient, I said. Professional again. Controlled. Safe. And I turned away. Because if I stayed any longer, I might have broken. And I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. 4 hours later, I walked into the ICU. And she was awake. Ava. Her eyes were open. Cloudy. Slow. But aware. And the second she saw me, everything changed. Recognition hit her instantly. And then, fear. Irene. Her voice was weak. Barely there. I didn't smile. Didn't soften. Good morning, I said calmly. You're stable. She stared at me. Like she was trying to process something impossible. You're the surgeon? I nodded. Silence. And then it happened. That flicker. That shift. That calculation I knew so well. Even now. Even here. She was thinking. Spinning. Planning. I can explain, she started. No, I cut her off. You can't. Her mouth closed. And for the first time, she didn't have control of the narrative. Mom and Dad are outside, I said. They deserve the truth. Her eyes widened slightly. Because she knew. The game was over. Or at least, it should have been. But I underestimated one thing. Ava doesn't lose quietly. And what she did next proved that. Because the second my parents walked into that room, she started crying. Loud. Violent. Convincing. I didn't mean for this to happen, she sobbed. I was trying to protect you. I stopped in the doorway. Didn't move. Didn't speak. Because I'd seen this before. This wasn't guilt. This was performance. Irene changed, she cried. She pushed us away. I didn't know what else to do. My dad looked confused. Lost again. My mom looked shattered. Because now there were two realities in the room. And for 5 years, they always chose hers. But this time, something was different. Then why didn't she stop calling? My dad asked slowly. Ava froze. Just for a second. And that's all it took. Why did she send proof? He continued. Why did Ruth try to tell us? The room shifted. Because the cracks? They weren't cracks anymore. They were fractures. And Ava felt it. So she did the only thing she could. She doubled down. She's manipulating you. Ava snapped. She always has. That was the moment. The exact moment. Everything collapsed. Because my mom stepped back. Slowly. Like she was seeing her. For the first time. No, she whispered. And Ava knew. She lost them. Right there. In that hospital room. Not because of me. But because the truth finally got louder than her lies. And then, the final blow. The one she didn't see coming. Aunt Carol walked in. Calm. Collected. Phone in hand. I think we're done pretending, she said. And then she pressed play. Emails. Messages. Proof. Everything. 5 years. Laid out in seconds. My mother dropped into the chair. My father turned away. And Ava? She just stared. Because for the first time in her life, there was no version of the story she could control. No spin. No charm. No escape. Just truth. Raw. Loud. Unavoidable. And it broke everything. My father's lips parted, but no words came out. And for the first time in my life, he looked small. Not angry. Not in control. Just lost. Irene, we thought. He stopped. Because even he didn't know what they thought anymore. And I could see it happening. Right in front of me. 5 years of certainty. Cracking. But I didn't help him. I didn't fill the silence. Because this time, they were going to sit in it. You thought I dropped out, I said quietly. You thought I lied. That I disappeared. I tilted my head slightly. Right? My mom started crying instantly. Not softly. Not controlled. The kind of crying that comes from somewhere deep. Somewhere ugly. That's what she told us, she whispered. There it was. She. The same she who was lying in the ICU right now. Alive. Because of me. And I wish I could say I felt powerful in that moment. I didn't. I felt tired. Did you ever call me? I asked. Silence. Did you ever ask me what was true? My dad swallowed hard. His jaw tightened. I trusted your sister. That hit harder than I expected. Not because it surprised me, but because it confirmed something I'd always known. And never wanted to admit. He didn't choose the truth. He chose the easier story. I called you 14 times, I said. My voice didn't rise. Didn't break. I sent emails. Documents. Proof. I paused. You sent my letter back. Unopened. My mom covered her mouth. Like the memory just hit her. Like it finally became real. I thought, she stuttered. You thought I was lying, I finished. And just like that, there was nowhere left for them to hide. Behind me, I heard movement. Nurses. Staff. Watching. Because this wasn't just a reunion. This was a reckoning. My father rubbed his face slowly, like he was trying to wake up from something. This isn't the place for this. I almost laughed. Almost. You're right, I said. This isn't the place. I glanced toward the ICU. This is the place where I saved your daughter's life. That landed hard. Because for the first time, he had to face it. The daughter he believed was alive because of the daughter he erased. And that kind of truth? It doesn't sit quietly. It burns. My mom stepped toward me again. Slower this time. Careful. Like I might disappear if she moved too fast. Irene, please. I took a step back. Just one. But it said everything. Not yet. Her hands dropped. And I saw it. The realization that this wasn't going to be fixed with one apology. This wasn't a moment. This was 5 years. I need to check on my patient, I said. Professional again. Controlled. Safe. And I turned away. Because if I stayed any longer, I might have broken. And I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. 4 hours later, I walked into the ICU. And she was awake. Ava. Her eyes were open. Cloudy. Slow. But aware. And the second she saw me, everything changed. Recognition hit her instantly. And then, fear. Irene. Her voice was weak. Barely there. I didn't smile. Didn't soften. Good morning, I said calmly. You're stable. She stared at me. Like she was trying to process something impossible. You're the surgeon? I nodded. Silence. And then it happened. That flicker. That shift. That calculation I knew so well. Even now. Even here. She was thinking. Spinning. Planning. I can explain, she started. No, I cut her off. You can't. Her mouth closed. And for the first time, she didn't have control of the narrative. Mom and Dad are outside, I said. They deserve the truth. Her eyes widened slightly. Because she knew. The game was over. Or at least, it should have been. But I underestimated one thing. Ava doesn't lose quietly. And what she did next proved that. Because the second my parents walked into that room, she started crying. Loud. Violent. Convincing. I didn't mean for this to happen, she sobbed. I was trying to protect you. I stopped in the doorway. Didn't move. Didn't speak. Because I'd seen this before. This wasn't guilt. This was performance. Irene changed, she cried. She pushed us away. I didn't know what else to do. My dad looked confused. Lost again. My mom looked shattered. Because now there were two realities in the room. And for 5 years, they always chose hers. But this time, Something was different. Then why didn't she stop calling? My dad asked slowly. Ava froze. Just for a second. And that's all it took. Why did she send proof? He continued. Why did Ruth try to tell us? The room shifted. Because the cracks? They weren't cracks anymore. They were fractures. And Ava felt it. So she did the only thing she could. She doubled down. She's manipulating you. Ava snapped. She always has. That was the moment. The exact moment. Everything collapsed. Because my mom stepped back. Slowly. Like she was seeing her. For the first time. No, she whispered. And Ava knew. She lost them. Right there. In that hospital room. Not because of me. But because the truth finally got louder than her lies. And then, the final blow. The one she didn't see coming. Aunt Carol walked in. Calm. Collected. Phone in hand. I think we're done pretending, she said. And then she pressed play. Emails. Messages. Proof. Everything. 5 years. Laid out in seconds. My mother dropped into the chair. My father turned away. And Ava? She just stared. Because for the first time in her life, there was no version of the story she could control. No spin. No charm. No escape. Just truth. Raw. Loud. Unavoidable. And it broke everything.